When the ambient temperature climbs high enough, the very ground beneath a city begins to lose its structural integrity. 40 degrees Celsius in Karachi or Rome is a predictable seasonal event. In Paris or London, that same number triggers national emergencies, school closures, and rising death tolls. In reality, the human body has the same thermal limits everywhere on Earth. The infrastructure built around that temperature, the walls of a house, the machine in the window, and the design of the trains, determines whether 40 degrees remains a manageable day or becomes a lethal catastrophe. For centuries, the primary climate threat in Europe was winter cold. Architectural evolution focused on one central goal: trapping heat inside. Buildings were engineered with thick masonry, dark roofing materials, and small windows specifically designed to hold warm air. This works brilliantly in January, but it creates a serious liability in July. During a heat wave, these heavily insulated buildings behave like brick ovens. The masonry absorbs solar radiation throughout the day and holds it, keeping indoor temperatures dangerously high long after the sun goes down. In regions like South Asia and the Middle East, traditional architecture evolved to move air through. High ceilings, shaded courtyards, and deep verandas reflect sunlight and create natural cross-ventilation, responding to a climate threat that has existed for thousands of years. European buildings are failing because the climate they were engineered for is disappearing. The same walls meant to protect inhabitants from the cold are now retaining heat that they have no way to vent. Mechanical cooling provides a second, vital layer of survival during extreme temperature spikes. In much of urban South and Southeast Asia, air conditioning is treated as essential infrastructure. It is built into the design of public spaces and the expectations of daily life to prevent catastrophic productivity and health losses. Conversely, home cooling remains rare in much of Europe. Historically, summers were short enough that the cost of air conditioning seemed unjustified, leaving current populations with no reliable way to cool the indoor spaces where they sleep and work. Public systems face the same deficit. Subterranean transit networks in cities like London and Paris were built generations ago without cooling because the need for it underground in a European city seemed unnecessary at the time of construction. Even the materials have limits. Steel rails in parts of the UK have lower heat thresholds than tracks in hotter countries, meaning they physically warp and buckle at temperatures that would be considered routine elsewhere. This cascade of physical failures marks a period of infrastructure shock. Systems are hitting conditions they were never designed to handle because the climate that built them no longer matches the climate they must survive. The most dangerous part of a heat wave is often what happens after the sun sets. Dense concentrations of concrete and asphalt aggressively absorb heat during the day. This urban heat island effect keeps city temperatures overnight far higher than in the surrounding countryside. Heat absorbed by buildings radiates back into the air, preventing the environment from cooling down. Without a period of cooler temperatures, the human body cannot physically recover from heat stress. The cardiovascular system remains taxed, core body temperature stays elevated, and the physical toll compounds day after day. In hot climate regions, a drop in nightly temperatures, combined with cultural habits and cooling infrastructure, provides a window for the body to reset before the next day's heat begins. This crisis is driven by the fact that Europe is warming faster than the global average, reshaping summers faster than infrastructure can adapt. This chart shows the historical baseline for European summers, centuries of relatively flat and predictable mild trends. Recent heat waves shatter these historical baselines. The resulting gap represents the difference between the climate a place was built for and the one it now has to endure. Europe is currently caught in a squeeze. The climate is shifting too fast for buildings to be retrofitted, and urban heat islands are preventing the nightly relief necessary for the body to rest. High mortality rates during heat waves are the result of systemic failures in architecture, power distribution, and transit engineering. When the built environment fails to protect the population, people are forced into desperate makeshift adaptations to survive the afternoon. Manageable heat becomes a disaster when a society is not engineered to handle its baseline conditions. Closing this preparedness gap through smarter building design, updated transport materials, and expanded cooling technology is now a survival imperative. The emergency is the widening gap between the climate we built for and the one we must now survive.